Hello everyone and welcome to another Starbound video. Today I'm going to be showing you my top tips for starting a new character. Maybe you're new to the game, maybe you're a returning player, and how to progress as quickly as possible. Let's get right into the video. So the first planet you start up on is pretty important, but you don't have to spend a lot of time there. I recommend you get a ton of lumber while you're on there, a ton of vines, because you can make bandages and stuff, seeds for food, especially if you've got the hunger bar on your character, cotton seeds, because you're going to need the fabric for later on, so make sure you pick those up all the time, mud and cobblestone, and that's just for your crafting. So the next tip is, if you want to get off the planet as quickly as possible, there is a really easy way of doing it. You want to run across the entire length of the planet, picking up as much as you can, you know, remembering to get those resources I spoke of earlier, and looting every box that you find. Eventually you're going to come up to your mine, and in those mines you're going to find more boxes, you're going to find resources, mineable stuff, you're going to find the core fragments, but you're also going to find a boss at the bottom, a little mini boss, and if you kill it, it's going to actually give you 20 of the core fragments, and you use those 20 core fragments to basically get off your planet as quickly as possible. So this next tip is more for the returning players who have this unlocked. Basically you can go to the outpost, go to the top of it, and you'll find the Ursa miner area, and basically you can sell him all the stuff that you don't need. So, you know, you've been running across the planet picking up crates, and you've been finding old weapons that you don't need, or not very good ones, instruments, resources, just awful items. You can just sell it to him, get a ton of pixels, and then you can use those pixels to buy things you do need, such as bars, which you can use to unlock your pieces of tech quite early without mining, and basically stuff like that. So the pixels you've just acquired, you can also go to the local store on the outpost and buy canned food if you have the food bar. Basically, food which will never expire, it's pretty cheap, and you don't have to worry about setting up a farm immediately and if you're struggling for food. So this next tip is probably the biggest one I can give anyone who's playing Starbound, especially for new players. So you've been collecting all these vines, as I've told you earlier, and what you're going to do is turn them into your bandages. Now, bandages are basically borderline broken, because most games, they allow you to use a bandage, but then they give you a cooldown. It will tick down, say like 10-15 seconds, and then you can use another one. In Starbound, that's not the case. You can spam them like crazy, just keep on using them, and if you are low on HP, pop a bandage. You get hit again within the next second, you can just pop another bandage, and you're pretty much invincible as long as you have them. The only tip I can give you with it is just make sure you've got it on a slot that you know, and it's easy you're gonna know where the bandage is, you're gonna be able to use it quickly and enjoy your immortality. So, you're not a fan of mining and you don't enjoy it. That's me. I don't want to spend too much time mining in games. I've done it a lot in other games and now I just don't enjoy it. Luckily in Starbound you don't have to do it. Now without a doubt, the best way of getting the resources that you need is you find an asteroid, you get a grappling hook. I really recommend a grappling hook if you go to an asteroid, because as you're falling through space you can grapple hook onto like an asteroid and then swing to the one that you want. It's absolutely amazing, but basically the asteroid field is full of resources and you can get what you want really easily. Unfortunately, they can often be hard to find, and if you don't find one, you're kind of stuck in an area. What you can do, let's say you go to a planet which has tungsten on, and that's what you need, you want tungsten. So what I do is I just run the whole length of the planet, I loot all the crates and boxes that I can find, and then I'm covered. I have done no mining, I've enjoyed it while I'm doing it, I've got weapons, I've got extra stuff, free pixels basically, and it's a really, really good way. And it's fun, it's a better way than just going out and mining all the time. So this next tip is definitely for people who want to progress the storyline as quickly as possible. So for the first boss, or the first mission should I say, you can run to the end. Your enemies hit relatively low, you should have plenty of bandages anyway to heal up. You can just go straight to the end and go to the boss. If you want to come back later on when you've got armor and whatnot, you're more than free to. You can replay this mission a million times over, and that's the same for all the other ones. But you go to the end boss, and you just do the pattern. The pattern, you flick the switches in order, you hit the button, and it hits the boss. Now, because the first boss hits for so little, you can actually just run through the beam, heal up on the other side, and finish that boss with pretty much nothing. I did it with no armor, basic weapons and nothing, and that first boss is done, out of the way. The second boss is again very similar to the first one, because you're able to just run to the end because the normal enemies don't hit very hard. You don't have to go with any armor. Now, just before the boss, you're going to find 3 or 4 enemies, which, if you've got bad weapons, you're not going to be able to kill. What you can do is actually pull them into the boulder room to the left, and you just let the boulders kill them, and then you go into the boss room yourself. Now, what makes the second boss especially easy to do with no armor is because it's more to do with the little follower with you, Naru, I believe her name is, and then she'll hit the boss for you, take off its armor, the boss will lower, and then you hit it a few times to kill it. A really, really big tip I can give you with this boss is you can hold control, move your mouse up, and it will pan your camera up, so you can see the boss a lot easier. You can track where he's going really, really quickly, and basically avoid all its attacks. Nox is the last one that I recommend you can do with no armor. This is because Nox at this stage, or the enemies at this stage, are getting to that point where they're going to 2 to maybe 3-shot you, and then the other bosses are going to pretty much 1-shot you. Nox is kind of abusable. So what I do is I get the spike sphere, and then I run to the end. Once again, you're seeing a theme, run to the end to the boss, and then you can actually jump up on the wall, use the spike sphere, and avoid all of the mechanics. Part 1. The little ball Metroid form is a little bit harder to avoid, but there is a strategy to that as well. So stick yourself to the wall, wait for the ball form, and then she'll go into the Metroid form. What I like to do is I go into the corner just as the ball is about to hit me, or as it's heading towards me, I pop a bandage, like pre-pop it, and then just start slowly walking to the full length of the right-hand room, and then just walk to the left-hand side of the room. Basically like halfway to walking back. She's going to actually stop the ball attack, and then you can target her and hit her. I did this with no armor, super weak weapons, and it was relatively easy to do. As long as you watch the video and see how I did it, you're going to have no problems whatsoever. And that's it for my tips for new Starbound players. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and you learned something new. There's definitely a cool few tricks, but yeah, the big one is bandage spamming. You can completely obliterate the game by just stocking up on bandages and then going to the bosses that you want to beat. If you did enjoy this video, have a look at my other Starbound videos. I have got a ton on finding secrets, missions. There's like a progress bar at the bottom that can help you get through. I'll link a few of them in the descriptions and at the end. Descriptions, there's multiple. There's only one description. And I've actually started putting up other types of videos on the channel as well, and if you could go and check those out, I would really, really appreciate it. Here's one, I'll put it in the corner. Feel free to click it, it'll open another tab, and I hope you enjoy it, and I'd like the support on it, and I'd love to do more videos like that one, and this one, so that's it, and I hope to see you all in the next video.